Hello, I'm Michelle Carter, and I'm really excited today to talk to you about discernment. I feel this is a really important subject and topic, and I feel it has huge power to create a much better humanity. Now, if you're on Steemit and you've read my Steemit article, then I will have already talked about discernment, what is discernment, about truth. Discernment is feeling universal truth and why we need to discern. So I recommend that you read that article because that's an introduction to this video. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to talk you through the process of how to discern, like discerning its feeling. And because feeling is kind of a little abstract, then I thought a video would help people to really go through the process of having to discern. And what we're going to do basically, discerning, is asking a question and then noticing what we feel. So the easiest way to discern is to ask a very simple, short question that is going to give you a yes or no answer. And the more complicated you make the question, then the less likely you are to get a strong feeling for your answer, because this feeling is coming from universal truth. So we need to make it simple, because universal truth doesn't really work in English language or whatever language you're working in. It's working in vibrations and frequency. So the first thing we need to do to be able to discern, because the answer is going to be a yes or no answer or a true or false answer, the first thing we need to know is what is our feeling for a yes or a true answer, and what is our feeling for a no or a false answer. And without that information, then we don't really know how to interpret what we're feeling. So the first thing we're going to do is to ask some questions that we already know the answers to, and then notice what you're feeling, and learn to recognize what you're feeling for a yes and true answer is, and recognize the feeling for a no and false answer. We're all unique souls, so what each person feels is going to be different, but some guidelines are for a yes or a true answer, then the feeling could be light, going up, happy, good, positive. And for a no or a false answer, then the feelings can be like heavy, feeling down, low, depressed, heavy. So those usually are the two types of feelings that people can have. But the feelings can vary, and the feelings can change as you tune in. So it's important to keep checking that you know what your feelings for these two answers are, because that is the whole key to discernment, is knowing what the feeling for yes and no is. So let's ask some questions, and you can do this along with me, and you can change a question to be something that's more relevant to you rather than what I'm doing, and notice what you feel. If you find it hard to feel, then it's quite a good idea to close your eyes. When we close our eyes, and that tunes us into our feeling more. And also it's really good to start by quietening our mind, because the mind chatter is going to mess with what you're feeling. You know, it might come in, oh, this is a load of rubbish, it's not going to work. Or you might be, I really want to feel something, and you know, you're wanting to feel so much that the mind chatter is coming, oh, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. So you're not actually feeling feelings, you're kind of going with what the mind's saying. So if you want to just like take a few deep breaths to slow everything down, if it's safe for you to close your eyes, and we're going to just fill with some pure peace and pure stillness, flowing pure peace and pure stillness to your mind. Feeling pure peace and feeling pure stillness. Feeling calm and stillness in your mind. So I'm feeling much calmer after having done that. If you're going to tune in better with your eyes closed, and you can still keep your eyes closed. So the first question I'm going to ask is my name Michelle Carter? And when I asked that, I just felt this feeling coming right up the centre of my body. So that's an upwards light feeling. So that's saying, yes, it's true. So my name is Michelle Carter. So then if I ask, is my name Jane Brown? And the feeling I got then was the feeling going down. I also felt like giggling because I knew it was false. But the feeling was a going down feeling, so that's saying, no, it's false. So if we ask some more questions that we know the answer to, we can check and see if we're getting the same feeling for all of our yes answers and the same feeling for all of our no answers. So these are very simple questions just because we want to confirm and find out and feel what our feeling is. So, do I live in England? And again, the feeling's coming right up into the head. You can see my head light lifting. So that was another yes feeling. Yes answer, rather. Well, feeling and answer. So, do I live in America? And the feeling's going down, and it's no. And you might have noticed that my head shook slightly then as well. And this is ability that I have, and I'm trying to turn it off at the moment to tune into the feelings. But when I discern, quite often my head will nod or shake as an answer, and that is another way that universal truth is flowing to me in a very visual way of having my head nod and shake. And I'm trying to turn it off because I want people to feel and not to think that their head should nod or shake, because some people do. I've had people when I've done discernment with people, and they said, wow, my head was nodding and shaking as well, and they're really excited. But a lot of people, they don't have that, and we have to go with what we're feeling and what's working for us. So we'll do another question that we know the answer to. So, do I have brown eyes? And that's an upwards and a yes answer. And if I ask, do I have blue eyes? That's sinking into my stomach, and it's a no answer. So I can feel flowing up is my yes, sinking down is my no, and my head might nod or shake as well, just because it does. So that is learning to feel what our yes and our no answer is. If you haven't felt your yes and no answer clearly yet, then you need to repeat doing this so that you can feel that before we go any further. Because if you don't know what those feelings are, then you're not going to be able to interpret the answers of any other questions that you ask. So the reason for discerning is to find out universal truth, to find out what is true and what is false. So there are a lot of things going on in the world where we feel confused, and we don't know whether what we have been told is true or not. And being an energy healer, I see this a lot in the world of energy, energy healing, spiritual world, and what have you. There's been a whole movement of new age and new age concepts, and many of those just aren't true. People are assuming, because they're coming in as spiritual beliefs, that they are true. So we can discern and we can find out whether something is true or not. So we can ask questions, the same, very simple, nice and short, to give a yes or no answer and feel the answer. So for some of the new age concepts, is frequency real? And the answer, I'm getting yes. I'm getting feeling, an upward feeling, and my head was nodding. Does the law of attraction exist? Again, I'm feeling an upward feeling and my head is nodding, so I'm getting yes answer for that. Do we attract our thoughts? So yes, I'm getting a yes on that one. It was kind of feeling gentle. You might find this as well. Some feelings will come through stronger than others, and the intensity of the feeling will be kind of like how much the universe wants you to take note of the answer and how true the answer is. So you could have a question and you ask, and it's a little bit true. There's more information, or you might have something that's like, yes, that's just clearly definitely true. So then going on from do we attract our thoughts, we can ask, do we attract our most dominant energy? And the answer for that is yes. And my head just like nodded straight away. And that was very strong and very definite. So from that, I can deduce that the universe is wanting me to know that the law of attraction works more powerfully on us attracting our most dominant energy than our thoughts. Because a lot of people are teaching that we attract what we think about, and then people go into panic because they think if they have a negative thought then they're instantly going to attract it. It's not. It's what is the most dominant energy in our in the whole of our whole of our energy field is what we're attracting. So all the beliefs that we might have had from birth, from parents and what have you, then we're attracting those more than what we're thinking actually now in the moment, which is why we need to do energy work to clear out all the things that aren't working for us. So we can go on and we can check out more New Age spiritual beliefs. We can discern on whether people in power have divine integrity or whether they have a hidden agenda and that they're up to no good. And we can do the same for the actions of corporations, governments, anything where we want to know what's going on. You in the media, in social media, you hear so many different stories, and everything is a conflict. And it's a common saying, divide and conquer. So if two stories are out there, how do we know which one is the true one? This is how we can find out, is by discerning and finding out which is the true one. And the great thing about discerning is nobody is telling you, you're feeling it for yourself, and that is the true power in discernment. So you can watch me discern, you can hear what I'm saying, my answers are, you can see my head shake or nod, but I'm not saying to you believe what I'm saying to you feel what you feel. So that's the power, that each person is tuning in to universal truth and universal wisdom, and they're feeling for themselves, because when you feel the truth yourself, then no one can change that feeling for you, because you're tuning into universal truth. People can try and persuade you that what you're feeling is wrong, that you're crazy, that you shouldn't be doing it. There's lots of things people can try and persuade you in your mind, in your head, but what you're feeling, they can't change the feeling once you've tuned in, and the more you practice, the stronger the feeling comes. So so the more you tune in and you're feeling, then you're being tuned into universal truth and wisdom that is keeping you on the right path. So for some examples of some other questions that we could ask, is grounding a divine practice? And I'm getting a no on that one. And that was like a sudden head shake. And I know a lot of people teach grounding and they believe in grounding. And I can write a separate article on that, because it's an in-depth subject. And again, I'm not saying that you have to believe what you just saw or what I'm feeling. I'm saying feel for yourself. The idea is to open people's minds to that everything you're being told is not true. And some of the people who we're trusting, they are either intentionally or unintentionally telling us stuff that is not true. And we need to know and find this out. So another question we can ask is, does pure energy flow freely? Yes, pure energy does flow freely, and that's part of the reason why we don't ground, because pure energy is flowing freely, and grounding, anchoring, holding, that's all stopping pure from flowing, and we want pure to flow. So when a stream is flowing down a hill, it's all bubbly and it's light and it's pure water, and you can drink that water and it'll be safe to drink, because it's the movement, the flowing movement, and the air that gets in the water, it's pure and it's safe to drink. When water is held and contained, and it's not moving, then it goes stagnant, and then you get fungus and bacteria and different things in there, and you could be ill if you drink that water. And it's the same with the energy that is flowing through us. Pure energy flows. So when we have pure energy flowing through us, flowing through our meridians and the whole of our body, then we feel fit and healthy. And when the energy is stopped and blocked and stagnated, whether it's physically or emotionally, then we're out of balance and we're not fit and we're not healthy. So pure energy flows. But another one that this one is very big in spiritual world and New Age, and the reason I'm doing this is just, again, to open people's minds. So I'm going to ask the question first and I'll chat about it briefly. Do we need to forgive to heal ourselves? And the answer is no. And there is so much talk about forgiveness, and there's so many people saying that we have to forgive. And again, I will write an article on this. But telling somebody who is in shock, trauma, grief, that they have to forgive the person or people who did it when they're in their shock, trauma and grief is very, very damaging. And this is why I want to share this information. You know, someone who's in that much shock, trauma, grief, they need love, they need caring, they need support. They don't need to be told to forgive when they're not ready. And they might never be ready. And, you know, who says that we have to forgive? You know, that's a human concept, because forgiveness isn't a pure energy, it's a belief. And, you know, somebody can heal by accepting what happened and by moving on. So, the reason I've done that is just to open people's minds. And if you are doing healing and energy work, don't push your belief systems on someone else, especially someone who's in trauma, because they need their own time and space to heal. They don't need to be told to forgive when they're feeling so hurt and so let down and so betrayed by society and humanity. Right, so moving on. So people in power. I've made a list here beforehand because I want to be quite careful. Who I choose was Gandhi of Divine Intention. Yes, Gandhi did a lot of good. His intentions were really good. He got freedom for people of India, so he was of Divine Intention. Right, was Jimmy Savile of Divine Intention? That's a big no. This made me go dizzy. People who don't know him, he was a BBC producer on the TV, and he did children's programs, and he was found to be a paedophile after he died. So, you know, that's obviously not pure behaviour. That's not good behaviour. And then, you know, you can ask for other people. You could ask, was Hitler of Divine Intention? And the answer is going to be no. And obviously there's a lot of other people who are involved in all of the wars who are not of divine intention, and you can discern, and you can ask questions. And the thing about discerning yourself is there's no judgment. It's just about finding out fact. It's feeling what the truth is and finding out the fact. So I'm not judging anything or anybody. I'm asking a question and I'm feeling what the answer is. And when I share information, which I know is going to be controversial. So previously on Facebook and in my newsletters and my blogs, I've written articles on grounding and forgiveness. And, you know, I discerned literally hundreds of times before I did that, because I thought if I'm putting out an article that is basically saying a lot of really well-known famous healers, what they're doing is not correct in terms of universal truth, then I have to be like a zillion times sure that what I'm saying is true, else I don't want to say it. And you know, when you feel that power, your soul connecting you to universal truth, then you just feel that you have to share what you know is true, especially when you can see the damage that is being done to people who are in need. So I'm very empathic, and I want to help people who are hurting, people who are in shock and trauma and pain. And when I see and hear of people who are doing things that are making their situation worse, then I feel I have to do something and say something to help those people. And, you know, when I have done that, people who are hurting and pain have said, thank you so much for saying that, because that was just like causing me such an issue. It was kind of tipping me over the edge. So, you know, there's lots of different ways we can use discerning to help ourselves, to help other people, to just have clarity in our minds and our feelings about what is going on. So discerning and finding out the truth is a way to really change the world, and this is why I really wanted to do this video and talk about it. So other things you can talk about are actions and corporations. So, you know, you can ask questions like, are wars about religion? Are the big banks of divine intention? Is our monetary system designed to enslave humanity? I can just feel a huge head nod coming on for that one as I'm talking. Is the blockchain giving independence to everyday people? Can we create peace on earth? And the answer is yes. Yes, we can. So the more aware we are, the more in tune we are, the more we know universal truth and what's going on, the more it changes the vibration of the world, and the world then reacts in a different way. So when we find out something, we react differently, because the way we're thinking and feeling is different. And as more people tune into their souls and to universal truth, then how they react is going to be different. And this is going to have a snowball effect. So I truly believe that people being able to discern is going to have a massive impact on humanity. And we can use it in our everyday lives as well for smaller things. So if you were wanting to buy a car and you didn't know which car dealer to go to, you can ask and discern, is this car dealer going to sell me a dodgy car? And feel yes or no. Is this someone to sell me a dodgy car? Yes or no. And you can cut out some past decisions that could lead to a not very good ending for you. And why do you want to go down bad routes if we can just go down good routes? Some people believe we have to feel bad to feel good. I mean, I think there are enough pure and divine emotions to feel that we don't need to feel bad. We can have contrast through all of the good. If people want to carry on feeling bad, then I guess they're going to carry on feeling bad because that's what they believe they need to feel. But to me, we have peace, we have joy, we have love, we have harmony, we have excitement. There's so many different good energies to feel. Why would we want to feel the bad ones? I mean, me personally, I've had enough of feeling bad. I think it's time we all tuned in to feeling the good. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you had some feelings. If you didn't have any feelings, then do watch again. I kind of think it's a skill and we need to practice and we need to tune in. And I'll be writing some more articles to tell you how to remove soul barriers. So if you're not feeling anything, then you might like to look out for my articles on how to remove soul barriers, which I'll be writing in the future. So thanks a lot, and bye for now.